Hello everyone, this is Candy the 614 Stitcher, and today is Saturday, February the 25th, 2023, and this is my Flosstube episode number 72. I would like to say hello and welcome to any and all new subscribers. Thank you so very much for taking the time out of your day to come and spend a little time with me, and hopefully I can enable you with a project or two. And to my returning friends and subscribers, thank you so very much each and every time you come back when I upload a video. I have had a very busy week. I would like to thank you all for your thoughts, prayers, good juju, good vibes, all of those. On Tuesday when I did have my test, I am going to have to see another physician, but I'm doing good right now. I'm going to be good, period. So it doesn't matter. It was interesting to say the very least, the test was, and so I came through it okay. But thank you so very much for your continued support and your good vibes, prayers, and all the things. I don't expect to be before you very long today. I have a new start, some whips, and a finish. Just a tiny bit of haul, investments, and that will be all. So let's just jump right in and get started. So my new start for today, actually this morning, I started it, was the Life is Like a Bowl of, and in this case, March. And this came as a kit. Everything that you see included in this picture was included in the kit. And I started on what they're calling a candy roll. So I started on the March, and I have the whole word March in, and then I started on the lamb. The saying goes, march in like a lion, out like, no, in like a, usually it says in like a lion, out like a lamb. But so the lamb was what was charted for. And then I started just a little tiny stitch over here for the clovers that will be going down along the end of that. This came pre-sewn like this, and then you just find your middle and get started stitching on it that way. It also has another piece, which I don't know how well this little girl here, and I'll be stitching her. I don't know that I'll get her finished in time for display on March, but I'm going to work on it and see. I did manage to put in 248 stitches on this project this morning. I have not been sleeping well, and when I don't sleep well, I stitch. So if I'm up early in the morning, then I'm stitching usually. So that's where we are with that. That was my only new start for this week. Okay, whips. So I'm going to go in the order in which I stitched them. My first whip for this week was Winter Quaker. And I forgot to pull this so I wouldn't have to go through this on the video, but sorry. So it was Winter Quakers, and this is my seasonal Sunday stitch. So I've been stitching on it for the past few Sundays for the month, or for the season of winter. And there is what the motto looks like. And here's a picture of where it was when I last showed it to you last week. And here is where it is now. So I put in another snowflake here. I think I put in this backstitch snowflake also. And I am working on this. Oh, I can't see. And I am working on this motif right here. I will continue working on that tomorrow. Again, I am putting in the backstitch snowflakes on this piece as I go along so that I won't be overwhelmed when the piece is finished. And this is Winter Quakers by Rosewood Manor. I am stitching it on a 14 count graceful gray witchelt, and I am using a color conversion by Miss Susan of Keepsakes and myself. And that's my progress on it so far. It's going to be interesting. I have 4 more Sundays to stitch on this piece. So it will be interesting to see like where I have the beginning picture of where I was when I first started on it this season, and then when I get to March the 19th where it'll be, hopefully I have that picture and I can put them side by side so I can see how much progress I've actually gotten done since December to March. So that's where we are with that. I put in another 85 stitches on that on Sunday. I stitch on it for a couple of, it takes a long time to stitch on that piece because it's so many different color changes. You do so many stitches and then you change colors. So that's why I only have so many stitches. Oh, I forgot something on that. Okay. So now, sorry, I forgot one of my whips to write it down. So the next whip that I worked on was StitchCon 2022. And you will be seeing this again come March. It is on my year of whips and one of the 6 that I picked to hopefully get a finish on. This is a chart that was exclusive to the attendees of StitchCon 2022. And it is by Sue Hillis Designs. And here's a picture of where it was when I last showed it. And here is where I am now. So I did finish all of the shrubbery around the house. This is Keepsakes, as she put it in. And now I need to do the back stitching in the windows and on the door, but I have finished all of the stitching around the house. I was going to say something else and now I've lost my whole train of thought, but that's where I am on it right now. That's better. I am enjoying this. It was my it has been my 25/7 for this month, for the latter part of this month. And so I am still enjoying it. I do work on it 25 minutes. Usually it turns out to be more like 35 minutes because what I try to do is finish a thread on it. I don't stop in the middle of a thread. I just run the thread out even if it's over the 25 minutes. And so that's where I am on StitchCon 2022. My next whip that I worked on was Woman of Honor sampler. And that is by the Rebel Stitcher Designs. Oh, that glare is horrible. I am still working on the lighting in my, it's getting better though, I can say. I feel like the lighting is better today than it has been, so. But it's got a super glare, that's for sure. So this is Woman of Honor Sampler by the Rebel Stitcher Designs. And she has some wonderful new releases coming out at market that I'll be adding to my collection. And here's a picture of where it was when I last showed it. You ever have one of those weeks where you feel like, I'm a little off or something? And here is where I am now. So I have brought down, I finished the entire corner motif, and I have started on bringing down the side borders. The threads here are just aligned, so I'll know that I'm stitching in the right place, because there's a couple of stitches up here that are off from the rest of the border. But that is where I am now. And I was trying to, I have put in a total of 235 stitches for this piece this month. You will also see this piece again next month, as I try to move it along a little quicker than in the past. And I am really enjoying it. I am stitching this on a 40 count Country Mocha Newcastle linen, and I am using the called for over dye flosses for it. And she's a big girl, so I'm not expecting to get it finished or anything this year, because she is a big girl. She is I just looked this up last night. She is 232 by 290. So it's not like I'm going to, you know, make some miraculous stitch and just you look up one day and it's going to be finished. No, she's going to be worked on for quite some time, because she is probably the largest. Well, Purple Rain would be the largest, I guess, but Women of Honor is bringing up a close second, let me tell you, in the big girl department. I never thought I would ever, when I started stitching, I never thought I would stitch projects this big, ever. I was like, there's no way I'm stitching great big old projects. I can't do it. But here, lo and behold, here I am. The next WIP that I worked on for this week was Data Portraits in Paris 1900 by the Shaded Stitchery. Okay, maybe if I hold it back. And this is a representation of the data that E.D.B. Du Bois took to Paris with him. And here's a picture of where it was when I last showed it. And here's where I am now. So I have come over, and I apologize, I have not printed off the information for this chart yet, but I have finished the first motif, the second, this is the third, and now I have moved past this pie chart and over to this motif. I'm going to print this off so that I can be able to share with you the information as it goes along, as I go along. Because you will see this again in March also. This actually is a 92 by 92, so I'm hoping that I can finish it in March as part of my 25/7. But this is by the Shaded Stitchery, and I am so enjoying it. I have put it on Pattern Keeper, and so Pattern Keeper is just keeping me on track. I'm 5% completed on it, and I've stitched 206 stitches. So there we go with that. And my last WIP for this week so I'm saying my last WIP for this week. However, this is Saturday, late afternoon, early evening. So there could possibly be another WIP, but we're going to go and chop it off with my last WIP for this week is, because you know, you could just have WIPs up till midnight if you wanted to. It's Harriet Tubman. And here's a picture of where it was when I last showed it. And here is where she is now. I thought that I would have been finished, but today during our magazine monthly Zoom call, I pulled her out and was able to bring down some more stitches in the portrait part. I put in 106 stitches during our Zoom call. So there is where Miss Harriet Tubman is now. I am going to give her a rest though for the month of March. Again, I will be working on, oh, let me tell you, she is being stitched on a 16 count Hue by Fortnite Fabrics, and I am using the called for DMC floss on her. I will be working on a Representation Matters piece every month going forward, so that I can touch them more than just in the month of February. So you will start to see them rotate in as the months come in. I will be trying to incorporate them into the acrostic for the magazine monthly so that I can keep them in rotation and stay ahead of them instead of just waiting until February or June for Juneteenth. I want to keep them, or July. I want to keep them rotating in and out so that I can continually work on my Representation Matters pieces. So now for the big finish, I have finished my oldest WIP, and I have semi-finished it because I thought I had the beads. So I did not purchase the beads when I was at Keepsakes last week. So I don't know when I'll actually have the all and out finish, but it is finished for now. And that is my piece sampler that was in the Just Cross Stitch magazine, December 2022. And it is just glorious. So I had mentioned that I had purchased the beads, that I had purchased beads for this piece when I went to Keepsakes. As it has turned out, I decided that these red stitches in here were actually to be French knots, not beads. But me being me, I was like, I'm not doing no French knots. I don't care. I'm not doing French knots. Finger up and everything. But then when I looked at it, the beads didn't match the cranberry color of the floss that I used. So I decided that rather than do all of that, okay. So what I decided is that I would use the floss and make the cranberries, or I'm calling them cranberries, make those X's instead. And as you can tell, there is no real, if my light would shine brighter, there is no real difference in the look. So I decided to go ahead, because everywhere else in this chart that it called for those, it called for X's. It didn't call for French knots. So I went ahead on and just use the floss and put in the X's for those French knots. Where I still need the beads at are on the candlesticks. Now, there are letters, the letter I is in here, and it calls for a French knot or colonial knot over those. So I might still use like one of the green beads for the I. I'm not for sure. Right now, I can't really tell the difference, even though I know where the eyes are. So I might just leave it off. But there is my piece sampler, and I am going to put this in a frame. And I'm trying to decide now whether or not I'm going to use glass with it. But it is beautiful. It will come out again. Once I put the beads on it, then I'm going to put it away, and then it'll come out in the winter season, because of the snowflakes and the candles and all of that. So there she is. And I am so excited and so happy. I couldn't believe this is one of my oldest pieces. But we were doing some research, and I've come across a couple of 2019 pieces, so I still have some older WIPs to go. So that was my finish for this week. And I did make my WIPGO goal. This was on my WIPGO for a piece that was not touched in 2022. And I did put in 700, I forget now, 700, and I was shocked actually by the number that I put in. It was like 730 something or something like that. I calculated it and couldn't believe, like, I hadn't calculated it, and then all of a sudden I was like, oh, let me put my numbers in and see where I'm at, because it was going to make a difference. Well, yeah, it was over, it was well over it was not well over, it was over 700 stitches that I put in that for this month. So I did meet both of my WIPGO goals. Bella Butterfly, I put in over 700 stitches, and the piece sampler, I put in over 700 stitches. And so for the second month in a row, I have made WIPGO. Okay, so now I am going to go over my plans. I'll be working on my seasonal Sunday stitch tomorrow, which is Winter Quaker again. For the next 2-3 days, I will be working on StitchCon 2022 for my 25/7 piece. And then in March, I'm going to switch my 25/7. I'm still going to be working on StitchCon 2022, but not for 25/7. And then for the next 2 days, I'm going to give data portraits 2 more days on the 27th and the 28th before I give her a rest. I'll be working on her some more in March, but I'm going to give it a couple of days before I get into it. I have a larger acrostic for the month of March, and so I'm going to, oh, and I can go over that. So I'm going to give data portraits a little bit of break. So the acrostic for the month of March, it is Carolyn's month. It is her birthday month. She is a March baby. And the theme for the magazine monthly challenge group is Needle Workshop. And that is why StitchCon 2022 will be used, because Keepsakes is actually on the piece, and it is my local, not so local, needle workshop. There were 2 acrostics that you could choose from, or you could do them both. The first one was Etsy, and the second one is Charge It. And I went with Charge It. And so for... I will be pulling out my fairy garden, which you all have not seen in quite some time. I'll be pulling out seasonal sun sign. I'll be working on temperature butterflies. I will also be pulling out my spring Quakers, which will become my Sunday seasonal stitch after March the 19th, when once we get into spring. You know, I will also be working on spring Quakers for my WIPGO. I will be working on Women of Honor some more for the magazine monthly and for WIPGO. Now, I will remind you that my WIPGO is 700 stitches. So my goal is to... I do not need to necessarily get 700 stitches in one project because of the way that I planned my WIPGO this year. So it just says a sampler. So Women of Honor is a sampler, but I have several other samplers that I could potentially put stitches in. So I'm going to put at least 200 stitches in Women of Honor sampler for WIPGO, but I have to get a total of 700. So we'll see how it goes. If I work on those borders, 700 stitches will go a long way to getting the side borders completed. And the top, like the border goes all the way around, so it would do a lot to get those stitches in. I will be pulling out one of my birthday starts for Carolyn. It was Steel Rose, and I'm not sure that I worked on it last year for her birthday month, but I'll be working on it this year. And I will be pulling out Half the Fun, which was the piece that I started when I went on my cruise last year. So that's where my future plans are. I have one more that I need to come up with, and it is the letter T. And I can't think of anything right now, so I'm hoping within the next 2 days at least, I come up with a T. If you have some T ideas, let me know, because I apparently have none. My brain is like shut off. Like, I don't want to think about something. I actually have something in mind, but it's a new start. So I'm thinking about it. I'm going to show you. So maybe you can be like, yeah, go ahead, start that. So I have this pattern. It's by Talon Emblem. And it is one of her tiles charts. I actually have 2 of these. This one is number 1, and I have number 2 also. So you think I should start this? It would go for my T. I don't know. It's also got green in it for, March. Let me know what you think. I picked out a very pretty blue fabric to stitch it on already, but, I'm not one to be trying to whittle down my whips. Why not just add more to it, and it's all fine. Okay, so now for my investments, I have one thing. Oh, and I didn't even put it on a board. I'm losing it. So if you recall, I am in the thread of the month, the floss of the month with Fat Quarter Shop. And this year they changed over, which I am so glad that they did. They have changed over, and they are, ooh, Auntie D, that's pretty. They have changed over, so I'm going to do my best to, here, well, let me do it this way. They have changed over to where they are now doing the floss by alphabetical order. So this is Argyle Socks, which is one of my favorites. This Argyle Socks has more gray in it than the purple. That's Argyle Socks. Aunt Marie's Violet. Auntie D's, which is just like super vibrant. That is not even showing, like, it is very vibrant. It's got blue and purple mixed in. It is gorgeous. I might have to look into Auntie D. It is gorgeous. That doesn't do it justice at all. Autumn Spice. Avocado. And Baby Blanket, which is a very nice mix of pink and blue and kind of a yellowy white. Yeah, it's got white and yellow, baby blue. It's really pretty. Oh, there you go. You can see it now. I'm going to put this Auntie D's back up here and see if you can see it better if I hold it closer. No, because the camera goes dark. But it is so vibrant, I can't believe it. Like, I'm going to have to look into that color. That's all the investments that I have for this week. I have put in my order for market. And so I am patiently awaiting. Miss Barbara and Stephanie will be traveling down to Tennessee. And I wish all of you that are going to market safe travels. Have a great time. Be careful. The weather can be sketchy this time of the year down that way. So just be careful. Have safe travels and have a great time. But they'll be traveling down. And so I'll be awaiting my market pickup. I won't get down until like the 3rd week of March. So it'll be, oh no, I got to go before that. Yeah, I'll be going down like on the week of the 18th. So I'll be picking up my market things then. And I'll share those with you when I do get them. So, well, I think I have everything from one end of the table to the other end of the table. I will continue to ask for your good thoughts and your prayers. The test did not come out positively. There are some issues, and I will need to follow up with, and I'm just not ready to really say too much more about it, but it was not, the results were not positive. It's not life-threatening or anything, so don't think that I just am not ready to share. It could be. But anyway, just please continue to keep me in your thoughts and your prayers and sending good vibes my way. I am now waiting for a follow-up from another physician, so we'll go from there. I am a positive person. I try to be as positive as possible, so I am not letting this get the best of me. I am going to keep moving forward. I do need to take better care of myself, which has become painfully apparent. So if you too are a person that takes care of others before you take care of yourself, or if stress is just unrelenting in your life, I would caution you to please try to find some kind of stress reliever. I thought that I was doing well with cross-stitching and quilting and doing all the things. Apparently I need more of an outlet than that. So, but I will be okay, and I will keep you posted if anything comes up. It's, you know, I am not one to share my personal problems and issues on this channel. I think you as a viewer come to let your problems and your issues linger in the background for a little while. And so I don't want to burden anyone with what my issues are. I just ask that you continue to keep me in your thoughts. But everything is fine. We're all fine. We're all good. So I thank you so much, very much, for taking the time out to join me today. It has been a good day so far, and I hope that you are having a very good weekend also, and I will see you next Saturday. Bye, everybody.